Hey, Dragonfire here, and I'm coming at you with another one of my videos. We're back on the topic of the NBA and giving my all-time teams for each NBA franchise. And today we've got the Los Angeles Clippers. Yes, the Los Angeles Clippers. All right, kicking things off here, I got my point guard for the Clippers. I'm putting in Chris Paul as my point guard. Um, For shooting guard, I got former All-Star Game MVP Randy Smith. For small forward, I've got Elton Brand. My power forward is going to be Bob McAdoo. He's a former league MVP. He won an MVP in the 70s back when the Clippers were the Buffalo Braves. Of course, they've been the Buffalo Braves, San Diego Clippers, and Los Angeles Clippers over the course of their history. And at center, I've got DeAndre Jordan. Now, the Clippers are a team, they've only been to the conference finals one time. So they've never been to the NBA finals. They've never won a championship, which won conference finals in their history. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure on that. So they didn't have a lot of all-time great players, but they do have Bob McAdoo, who won an MVP back when the franchise was still known as the Buffalo Braves back in the 70s. He was for a few years there. I think he won two or three scoring titles as well, and was for a few there for a few years there a top contender for MVP. He only ended up winning one of them, even though he was contending there I think for like 3 years straight, and uh, I think Kareem Abdul-Jabbar won two of the three, or maybe at that point he might not have changed his name to Kareem yet. He might have been still Lou Alcindor at that point. But Bob McAdoo did manage to steal an MVP away from Alcindor or Kareem or whatever you want to call him. Like I said, I have a center, DeAndre Jordan. Um, and coming off my bench, I got Blake Griffin as my sixth man. Ivy Zobak, I believe is how you pronounce his name. Another player coming off the bench, Corey Magnic, Kawhi Leonard, Loy Voigt, Danny Manning, Sweet Nader, and Paul George. So here is my all-time Clippers team. Didn't have a super lot to talk about with the Clippers. Like I said, they're a franchise. They've been around since the 70s. I think around 1970 may have been their first year. Started as the Buffalo Braves in Buffalo, New York, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah, but I've included here. Um, I think my list just basically has the players who are the top 12 players in franchise history as far as win shares are concerned. And I think I threw in one extra player there just as a personal preference. Um, but yeah, not much to talk about with the history of the Clippers. Um, a I think as long as they're in Los Angeles, they're always going to be viewed kind of as the little brothers of the Los Angeles Lakers, the younger brothers, the dorky brothers. Why the Lakers are probably one of the top two franchises in NBA history, right there, along with the Celtics. The Clippers, on the other hand, are kind of the um, one of the worst franchises in NBA history. Um, a few years back, they did make the conference finals for the very first time in their team history, but they lost in the conference finals. And yeah, just not a lot to talk about with the Clippers. But that is my list for the all-time Clippers, and hopefully y'all can read that there. You got um, every player who I put on there. So thanks everybody for listening. That's my all-time Clippers list. My next one will be the all-time Los Angeles Lakers, please like, share, subscribe, comment, uh, do the boost thing now. That's the new thing they've added on YouTube. Do all that stuff because it helps out my channel. And I will see you next time. Thanks, everybody. Dragonfire out.